to our apartment. Hi, my name is Jess and I am living in Brooklyn, New York. This is a tour of... Relax! Wait, this is a vlog or tour of my apartment. I am partly doing this also as a time capsule for myself and my partner James as well, because we aren't going to live here forever, we're renting, and I think it's the most special place I've ever lived in and one of the most unique places I've lived in. So enjoy the video and let me know what you think. So this is our bedroom. It's the first room that you hit when you go left in the apartment. This is kind of when you get the most amount of light. It goes straight from these big windows. And these doors actually close completely, as well as this door. It's a map of the universe on a specific date, time, and place. So I chose the day that we met, which was actually at a music festival in Sydney 7 years ago. So that's super ratchet. My favorite little Maranta prayer plant. And then this is our little photo string. So these actually light up automatically at a certain time, but it's just a bunch of memories from my time here, as well as film photos I've taken and some friends from back home. These are my hats. I have a bunch of different bucket hats and vintage zoo caps for some reason. This side table was from IKEA. We've had it for the longest time, probably since we moved here 7 years ago, and I didn't want to throw it out, so to make it a little better, I added this Monstera knob from CB2. I love my bubble tea lamp. This is where I keep all the things that I would need to get ready or things I need easy access to. This print I bought from the tattoo artist who gave me my impromptu leopard tattoo on my left arm last time I was in Berlin. I bought a second copy for my best friend Jade, who currently lives in Berlin. So there's a print hanging in Kreuzberg, Berlin in her apartment, and one in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. This is a shrink-wrapped copy of Dirty Dancing that I found in the hallway of our apartment building. Unclear why it was there, not mad about it. This is a shelf I bought from Amazon and hung myself. I love this print from Biz Lindsay. And these are my jellyfish earrings that actually light up, and I have a pink version as well. This mess is running a vintage store out of your Brooklyn apartment. So these were cardboard boxes that we had when we were moving, and I kept them to store different pieces of clothing that I sell via my vintage store. Up there, that doorway is actually another storage space that I keep a lot of the other stock, but anything that is currently in season or that I need to access quickly to ship. Here are some shipping materials. So that's a rubber plant, that's a snake plant, but this is actually a frangipani tree that I used to love growing up in Australia. They release a really fragrant smell. It's a floral tree. It's white with yellow centers. This is part 2 of my closet. It's a freestanding clothing rack I got from Craigslist for $20. This is kind of all the coats. I have a lot of coats. Coats and blazers and long dresses. Just mainly coats, honestly. I have bought way too many coats. I used to feel like I didn't have enough, but if you own a floor-length giraffe print faux fur coat, I think you definitely own enough coats. Dining room is what you see when you first come into the apartment. These are NASA posters, imagined as if you could create tourism posters for the future. They're actually free to download, and I just bought a bunch of frames from Target. We have a lot of plants. This corner of the apartment gets a lot of light in the afternoon, so we have a lot of plants here. And there's a lot of hanging space because as a former warehouse ceiling, it just has all these random nails everywhere, just hanging out of the ceiling. Some of my favorite pieces in this apartment are very animal focused. These two plant stands are vintage and found off eBay. Don't ask me how I found them. I just spam keywords into eBay at 2 a.m. in the morning until these types of things pop up. This is my other favorite thing. It's a ceramic planter from Mexico City that James and I brought back. This is his brother, Tortuga, also brought home from Mexico City. This chair I am obsessed with, and I think it was $100 from someone who used to work at West Elm. He actually sold me that ottoman as well as this giant blue rug downstairs that, believe it or not, was $50. This disco ball, it took me so much work to get it up there. We had to borrow a 12-foot ladder from a neighbor on Nextdoor, lugged it down the street, set it up, got a handyman. He couldn't even reach the ceiling, so we had to use a dog leash and loop it over one of the beams for stability. It was a complete nightmare, and then it took me an hour to figure out how to set it up so that it could do this. Hey Google, let's party. Our kitchen is big, but very, very ramshackle. Everything that you see was kind of already here, except for this table and this table. This was built into the apartment. So were these shelves and these rods. This acts as our pantry. There is a method to it. It doesn't seem like there is, but this is my instant noodle box, our gardening box, where I keep my boba, and our pasta and fried onion box there. So there really is no rhyme or reason to it. Bathroom is nothing special. This is the least exciting part of this apartment because it is a warehouse conversion, so they haven't done the best job of the finishes. Tried to make it as cute as I possibly could, but there's only so much you can do, really. We used to have our friend Ida living in here for the first year that we lived in this apartment, but she moved out a few months ago, so we've had a really fun time actually collaborating because I tend to be very domineering with decorating in general. So James and I really took this on as a joint project. The couch is from Craigslist. The chase actually opens up, so there's extra storage, which is really great. This mirrored coffee table is from Dobbin Street Co-op. The rug is from Morocco, so someone on Etsy who creates these, I can post the link as well. It's actually quite high quality. This is the view from the cubby, which is pretty special. It's the best view in the apartment, especially when there are dogs sleeping on beds. Question time. Is your apartment safe? Yes and no. It can be unsafe, but so can literally anything else in life. We've made it so that the upstairs has no natural way for you to really fall off the edge. We have plants lining one side, and the other side, it's just not natural for you to go there or sit off it. We're also pretty smart and safe and careful, so we're pretty used to navigating the apartment. No one has ever had an accident. Also, I've had parties in here, and it hasn't really ever been an issue. The couches are also, they have anchors, like little anchors on the back leg, so it stops them from sliding off. And the other couch has a pole on the back. So there's actually strategic ways that we've made it a little bit safer. But honestly, the people who come here and visit us are adults. We're adults. We don't sprint around the house and jump from one platform to the next. So I find it pretty safe in general. Where did you find the apartment? I found this apartment on the Listings Project. It's a weekly newsletter that covers New York City, Hudson Valley, London, Berlin. It's primarily focused on New York listings though, as a heads up. I love it. I've stalked it for a while because you get to see different types of people and how they live, but they have sublets, apartments for rent, they have co-living situations or shared spaces, as well as studios for rent. So I got some questions about my design ethos or my inspiration or my strategy, and as well as sourcing secondhand furniture, and honestly there is no strategy. I like what I like, and I tend to just buy pieces as I see them and as they're available, because I buy the majority of my stuff secondhand, which means app deco, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, as well as just curb stuff, like finding things on curb or asking friends. Cherish is also a really great place for more upscale, expensive special pieces, and Etsy and eBay. In between all those different places, the way that I approach decorating is really from a place of utility. So we need a couch, a rug, a specific dresser of this size, and I'll just every day go through all those platforms and search for the terms that I'm looking for. So literally every day I'll go on Craigslist and look for trunk coffee table and just click newest and go through the new arrivals every single day until I find what I'm looking for. So it's a lot of work, and in the end it's mostly just figuring out the pieces that you need, and I trust that I can figure it out along as I go. I don't have a specific type of style I like I love mid-century modern, but I am a lot more colorful and cluttered than that, so it's a bastardized design process because there really is no process. And I would say that if you're looking for furniture secondhand, you just have to commit, and you have to keep looking on a really frequent basis, because that's when you'll find the gems. It's really easy to check in once in a while and dismiss it and say, this is not for me, but if you put in that extra piece of work, it actually becomes part of the way that you live your life. What are the downsides of living in a loft? There are plenty. So it's essentially a converted warehouse, and I don't think the person that did this build out was doing it with the luxury in mind. I mean, the bathroom is not great, and there's no windows in the bathroom. It's quite small. Our kitchen is very ad hoc as well, so we've had leaks and we've had busted plumbing very often. The windows are really massive, which means that a lot of sunlight comes in. Fantastic for the plants, but awful for temperature control when you have super high ceilings. A single AC unit doesn't really cut it for us, so we have a second one that we have to install, because otherwise in summer, upstairs is completely uninhabitable. The heat rises, and there's so much light that this summer we're actually thinking of closing the curtains a bit more, because we are trying to lower our carbon footprint, and running the AC is just so energy intensive. Likewise, in winter, it gets really cold. There's not much insulation, and the same issue is that it gets really hot maybe down here, but then upstairs gets really cold. There is a complete lack of privacy, so as I kind of walked around, you could see that there are no real doors in this place. Everything has gaps or wooden slats. We live here alone now as a couple, which is fine, but we lived with a housemate for a whole year before this, and she stayed in the cubby space. That, I honestly don't know how we did that, because we spent a whole year tiptoeing around each other. If you wake up early, you have to make sure that you're not making a lot of noise, making coffee or making breakfast if someone else is asleep. When people come home late after a night out, that's an issue as well, waking everyone else up, or even just watching TV after a long day, you can hear it all over the place. And as a couple, we couldn't really have arguments or be intimate with the third person in the space, because it's just, there are no doors, there's no soundproofing, but we made it work, and it was a friend that we really love, so we were okay to deal with the ups and downs, and I'm really glad we did it with her, because it made the place more affordable, and we also now have a really great friend in Ida. But yeah, there are a lot of downsides to this place, but it doesn't really outweigh the incredible parts of living here. Like, I have so many plants. I obviously love having this space and having so much of my personality come through. It really feels like over the years of living in New York, this has been the ultimate expression of creativity for me, and of my values of buying everything secondhand. And I love being able to share the space with my friends. Like, I love hosting, and I love having the space to have a 10 to 12 person dining table.